Good morning to the second year students. I think all are fine. So today's topic, actually in medical surgical nursing we had stopped and we are in renal system. So in renal system we had already dealt with the acute renal failure. What is meant by renal failure? In that it is divided into two, that is acute renal failure and chronic renal failure. So already we dealt with the acute renal failure, so we'll go with the chronic renal failure. So chronic renal failure, it is a condition in which it is an it will describe that it is an umbrella term. So umbrella term that describes kidney damage or decreased in glomerular filtration rate. So it is described as a very kidney damage and decrease in the GFR rate or for more than 3 or more months. So if it is prolonged the kidney damage, if it is prolongs, it may called as a chronic renal failure. A CKD, this is associated with the quality of life is decreased because of this CKD, and the expenditure and the care, they will go to the hospitals and they will go for the treatment. The treatment includes that dialysis and hemodialysis, so they required some amount of some medications amount. So for that it is having a quality of life will be decreased, like health expenditure will be increased, there will be a premature death. So they will be having a death prior only. So untreated CKD can result in end stage. So definitely if CKD is untreated, it may land up into the end stage renal disease. So definitely these conditions, these require renal replacement therapy. So that renal replacement therapies or dialysis or kidney transplantations. So according to the National Kidney Foundation, it is defined as the damage more than or equal to 3 months as defined by structural and functional abnormalities of the kidney. Here the structure will be altered and functions will also be an abnormal functions, or with or without decreased glomerular filtration rate. Definitely it may be having a glomerular rate will be decreased. So this is the definition. So pathological abnormalities or markers of kidney damage. So GFR rate for 3 months more than it is less than 60 ml per minute for 3 months. If it is there with or without kidney damage, it is considered as a renal failure. So remember that GFR, it will be having less than 60 ml per minute. So glomerular failure. So incidence, mostly this incidence, the diabetes is the primary cause for the CKD. Definitely the diabetes will leads to the damage of the glomerular nephritis. So glomerular nephropathy is there now. So that is one of the cause to have a primary cause for the chronic kidney disease. And some research reported that 16.8% of the US population aged 20 years and older have CKDs. So that is from the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention. So no, this term is, so nowadays because of corona you are listening this term. What is the term? Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So it's CDC. So this has been reported that 16.8 of the US population about age 20 years and older have a CKDs. So and moreover 25 and 40% of diabetes 1 patient, type 1 diabetes, 5% to 40% type 2 diabetes developing the kidney damage. One thing. So we are having some of the risk factors. What are the? Cardiovascular diseases and diabetes, hypertension, obesity. So these are the some of the risk factors. And not only that, diabetes is the leading cause of the renal failure in patients starting with the renal replacement therapy. So definitely if the diabetes most probably it is a leading cause of the renal failure, patients and who are having a renal replacement therapy. So వీళ్ళు డయాబెటీస్తో ఉండి అండ్ మోర్ టైమ్ రీనల్ ఫెయిల్యూర్లో ఉండి రీనల్ రిప్లేస్మెంట్ థెరపీ తీసుకుంటున్నా దే విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ more senses or more it is a primary cause అయిపోయింది. అండ్ secondary causes definitely it is an hypertension. This hypertension is because of due to the glomerular nephritis, pyelonephritis or polycystic hereditary or congenital disorders or some of the renal cancers. So some of the causes these are primary glomerular diseases. So in primary glomerular diseases, glomerular nephritis, in glomerular nephritis what will happen, in glomerulus there will be having a changes. The changes will be occurring in the glomerulus. So in pathology we had seen this, what are the basement changes and membranous, what are all the nucleus changes. So because of these changes there will be because of these changes the glomerular diseases can be occurring. Not only that, IgA nephropathies and pyelonephropathies, some of the systemic diseases like hypertension, diabetes mellitus and post infection to glomerular nephritis and SLE. And not only that, hereditary nephritis, polycystic kidney disease, some of the large vascular diseases and small vascular diseases. These large vascular diseases such as bilateral renal artery stenosis. When there is a renal artery stenosis, the supply will be decreased. Whenever the supply will be decreased, what happened, kidney supply is also be decreased. So at that time definitely the glomerular changes will be occurring and the output will be decreased, glomerular filtration rate will be increased. So some of the obstructive causes, so small vessel diseases, ischemic nephropathy or vasculitis. Because of this it will be occurring. Obstructive causes, what are the obstructive causes? Bilateral kidney stones and disease of the prostate, urinary system tumors and vesicoureteral reflexes. So when the actually how renal failure occurs, so definitely renal function declines because the end product of the protein metabolism that will be accumulated in the blood. So whichever the end product of the metabolism, that is urea, that has to be excreted through the kidneys. But what will happen when the kidney function declines, there will be accumulation of the uremic levels in the blood. So at that time what will be happening, it will having a adverse effects on the body. So it is having not only that, the rate of decline, renal failure and progression of it may progresses to the ESRD, that is the end stage renal diseases. So because of some of the underlying diseases and urinary excretion of the protein and presence of hypertension, because of this it may cause generally the when the renal system will decline the function. So renal system అనేది function ఆగిపోతుంది whenever it slow down, and at that time what will be happening, these diseases, so when the patient is having a hypertension or diabetes, so it may further progresses the diseases. So that is the disease tends to progress more rapidly in patients who excrete significant amount of protein or have a elevated blood pressure than. So that is. So we'll go with this. That is a chronic renal. We'll see whether we'll complete the causes. We'll go with the pathophysiology. Generally, we having functions are sodium and water retention, water balance will be maintained, potassium balance will be maintained, elimination. So definitely nitrogenous waste should be eliminated. Erythropoietic production will be there. Acid-base balance, activation of the vitamin D in aldosterone, and then in the phosphate elimination. So phosphate should be eliminated. Generally these are the functions. What will be happening with these functions? All functions will be altered because these sodium and water will be retained. Because of this retained in the intravascular system, within it will be in the extravascular system. Because of that it may leads to the hypertension, and then increased definitely what will be happening over here, they will be having increased vascular volume. Because of the vascular volume will be increased due to extravascular ఫ్లూయిడ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇంట్రావాస్కులర్లో వాల్యూమ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిపోతుంది. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ presence of extravascular fluid and sodium, the edema may be occurring. So more leads to the heart failure because of this increased vascular volume. It may directly affect the heart. It may lead to the heart. Not only that, hypertension is also one of the thing. It may also lead to heart failure. Potassium balance, hyperkalemia. In hyperkalemia is also one of the thing. The potassium levels can be seen in the blood. So more potassium levels that can be seen in the blood, that will be circulated in the blood. Not only that, the waste materials that are that is a nitrogenous waste materials that also will be seen in the heart, and then it will be seen in the heart, in gastrointestinal system, it may transfer to the brain. So because of the nitrogenous waste, we will see the pericarditis impaired, the immune function will be altered. And not only that, some of the skin, because it may accumulated below the skin, because of that the patient may having a skin disorders also. And then in gastrointestinal manifestations, so gastrointestinal manifestations can also be seen. And neurological we'll see one by one what are these manifestations. Neurological manifestation, definitely the patient will be having a sexual dysfunction. Because of this excessive uremia, the coagulopathies will be decrease. Because of this, bleeding can be seen. Not only that, because of the erythropoietic production will be altered. Because of that, patient may be having anemia. So one more thing, acid base balance, so that has to be maintained. So the patient may go into the acidosis. That may be a respiratory acidosis, that may be a metabolic acidosis. The patient may go into that. Whenever this acid levels can be seen in the skeletal buffering. So this is also one of the mechanism. We'll see this mechanism separately, how this osteodystrophies will be occurring, how this balance because of the activation of vitamin D and skeletal buffering of the acid base, and the potassium, because of the potassium elimination. Because of this, the patient may be having a hypocalcemia and hypoparathyroidism. How it will be occurring, we'll see in the next slide. Just you'll look of this. The renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. So what will be having in renin-angiotensin aldosterone system? Definitely from these angiotensin from the liver, it may help us to convert the angiotensin 1 to the angiotensin 2. You are seeing now from the liver it will be coming. It may help us to convert the kidney in renin. So what will happen, it may help us to convert angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. After when it is converted to the angiotensin 2, definitely it is having a sympathetic activity. So one of the things is a sympathetic activity. And one more thing is a tubular sodium chloride reabsorption and potassium excretion and H2O retention. So what will be happening here generally? And then arterial, there will be a arterial vasoconstriction, and because of this arterial vasoconstriction, there will be a increased blood pressure. So not only that, in pituitary, because of the sympathetic stimulation, there will be a pituitary gland stimulation. It may, pituitary gland in the posterior lobe, it helps us to secrete the ADH. Because of this ADH secretion, it may affect directly on the collecting duct. So collecting duct of the nephron, it may help us to absorption of the H2O. So it may, in collecting duct, the H2O will be absorbed out. So this is the thing, the H2O will be absorbed out. So this is what water and salt retention and effective circulatory volume increases, perfusion of the dextroglomerular apparatus increases. So definitely whenever the renal perfusion is decreased, the renin-angiotensin mechanism will get alerts. The angiotensin from here, it may get to and helps in conversion of the angiotensin 1 to the angiotensin 2. Meanwhile, this angiotensin converting enzymes from the surface of the pulmonary or renal endothelium, so surface, it may ACE can get from the surfaces of the pulmonary and renal endothelium. So these enzyme will get from here, that will help us to conversion. So only we are having to control the hypertension. సో ఈ ప్రాసెస్ అంతా కంట్రోల్ చేయడానికి, వాసో కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అవ్వకుండా, బ్లడ్ ప్రెషర్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండడానికి మనకి డ్రగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఏసీ ఇన్హిబిటాస్ అని చెప్పేసి, అవి తీసుకొచ్చి సో ఇక్కడ కన్వర్షన్ కాకుండా చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సో అప్పుడు ద బ్లడ్ ప్రెషర్ విల్ నాట్ బి ఇంక్రీజ్గా ఉండకుండా ఉంటుంది. సో అక్కడ ఇది మెకానిజం, వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ మెకానిజం you can able to know better. So this is the one thing is angiotensin that will help us, that angiotensin will convert to the angiotensin 1 and angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2 by the help of the ACE. So ACE is a angiotensin converting enzyme. Because of this angiotensin converting enzyme, that will this will cause the vasoconstriction. Because of this vasoconstriction, there will be an increased blood pressure in the arterioles. Because of that, patient may have a hypertension, one thing, and there will be a H2O retention. The H2O, sodium potassium chloride, that will be reabsorbed. So that will be reabsorbed to the surroundings. So because of that, patient may be having a edema, one thing, that is the thing. So this is the process. ADH is also help us in that collecting. So kidney, so how it will be occurring? So ikkada emavutundi kidney failure lo, whenever there will be ikkada GFR will be decreased. Because of the decreased GFR, PO4 levels, the phosphorus levels will be, excretion will be decreased. Because of this excretion will be, whenever the excretion is decreased, serum blood levels, right, will be increased. That has to be excreted. So that will be decreased. Whenever it is decreased, where it will go? It will go into the blood and it will stay over here, and blood increase, phosphorus levels should be increased. Because of this increased phosphorus levels, there will be some metastatic calcifications will be seen. So because of these calcifications, there will be a serum increased serum calcium levels and serum phosphorus levels. So this is the one thing, one side of thing. We'll see next side. So in kidney failure, there will be a definitely decreased activation of vitamin D. Generally, the vitamin D should be activated. So what will happen? There will be a function and the alter ayipotadi. So at that time, vitamin D anedi activation. So because of this decreased vitamin D activation, there will be impaired Ca absorption. So there will be impaired calcium absorption from the gut. So remember that carefully, the calcium absorption from the gut will be impaired. Because of this impaired calcium absorption from the gut and decreased vitamin D activation, there will be serum calcium levels will be increased. So here, because of PO4 and because of decreased Ca absorption and because of decreased vitamin D, the serum calcium levels will be increased. This serum calcium levels, whenever it increases, this parathyroid hormone will activate and it will be PTH will be increased. So parathyroid hormone, because of this increased levels, it may lead to the osteotis fibrosa. So this increase because, so what happened, ఇంకా calcium level, so calcium levels ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి. So because of that, what will be happening? Demineralization అనేది. So bone demineralization జరుగుతుంది. So first of all, bone demineralization కనిపించిందంటే that is called an osteomalacia. So demineralization of the bone. So it may lead to the serum calcium increased. Moreover, it will be increased serum and increased phosphorus levels. So moreover, definitely kidney failure unte calcium levels, phosphorus levels అనేవి డెఫినెట్గా ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ ఉంటాయి బ్లడ్లో. ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ బ్లడ్లో ఎప్పుడైతే ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ ఉంటాయో, సో పారాథైరాయిడ్ హార్మోన్ కూడా వర్క్ చేయడం మొదలు పెడుతుంది. సో ఈ పారాథైరాయిడ్ హార్మోన్ లెవెల్స్ కూడా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతాయి. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ ఆస్టియోటైటిస్ ఫైబ్రోసిస్, ఆస్టియోమలేషియా అండ్ మెటాస్టాటిక్ క్యాల్సిఫికేషన్ కెన్ బి సీన్. సో ఇక్కడ యాక్చువల్లీ గట్ దగ్గర అబ్జార్ప్షన్ అవ్వాలి, గట్ దగ్గర కూడా ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ బి అబ్జార్బ్డ్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. So description, what is this description? Kidney damage. So what will be happening? GFR rate, kidney damage with normal or increased GFR. So it may be having a greater than or equal to 90, kidney damage with mild or decreased GFR 60 to 89%, moderate decreased GFR 30 to 59%, severe decreased GFR what will happen 15 to 29%. In kidney failure, if it is less than 50, so if it is less than 15, so definitely they should go for the dialysis. So there is no option, they should go for the dialysis. So CKD, stage 5 CKD is also established chronic kidney disease. So synonyms, so what are the synonyms out there? End stage renal disease, chronic kidney failure, chronic renal failure. So these are the some of the synonyms. And chronic kidney disease ki ivanni perlani. End stage renal disease ante definitely it may represent accumulation of the toxins, fluids, electrolytes ఇవన్నీ ఉంటుంది. సో యూరిమిక్ సిండ్రోమ్ అనేది కూడా ఉంటుంది. యూరిమిక్ సిండ్రోమ్లో ఇట్ మే అంత మొత్తం అంత ఆర్గాన్స్ కన్నిటికి సిస్టమ్స్ కన్నిటికి యూరిమిక్ లెవెల్స్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిపోయి డిస్ఫంక్షన్. సో వన్ వైజ్ సిస్టమ్ వైజ్. సో న్యూరలాజికల్ చేంజెస్ ఉన్నాయని చూసాం కదా. న్యూరలాజికల్ చేంజెస్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ అకర్డింగ్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సెంట్రల్ స్లర్డ్ స్పీచ్, హెస్ట్రెక్సస్, మయోక్లోనస్, షీజెస్, డిజోరియంటెడ్ ఉంటారు, కన్ఫ్యూజన్లో ఉంటారు, ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ మస్కులర్ ఫెటిగబిలిటీ ఉంటుంది. క్లినికల్ మేనిఫెస్టేషన్ కిడ్నీస్ ఆఫ్ failure of kidneys to remove excess fluid. So it may help failure of kidneys remove excess fluid may causes edema of legs, ankles, feet, face, hands, shortness of breath due to extra fluids in the lungs caused by the anemia, hypertension or congestive heart failures. And metabolic changes such as serum creatinine, blood urea nitrogens, high levels of urea in the blood which can result in vomiting, diarrhea, that may lead to the dehydration, weight loss, nocturnal urination, azotemia and ultimate uremic levels. So even metabolic changes, not only that, proteinuria, hyperphosphatemia will be seen. So phosphorus levels increased. Metabolic hyperkalemia, so because of hyperkalemia abnormal rhythm ఉంటుంది, మజిల్ ట్విచ్చింగ్ లాగా కూడా అనిపిస్తుంటుంది. అలాగే మెటబాలిక్ అసిడోసిస్లో అక్యుములేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద సల్ఫేట్, ప్రాస్పరేషన్, యూరిక్ యాసిడ్స్ ఎక్సెట్రా. హెమటోలాజికల్ చేంజెస్, ఎరిథ్రోపాయిటిన్ సింథసిస్ అనేది డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది, అనీమియా ఉంటుంది, లీడింగ్ టు ద అనీమియా. సో వాళ్ళకి సిమ్టమ్స్ టైర్డ్నెస్, వీక్, మెమరీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, డిఫికల్ట్ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేయలేకపోవడం, డిజీనెస్, లో బ్లడ్ ప్రెషర్ కూడా చేంజెస్. GIT changes అంటే appetite loss, bitter, and metallic or salty taste in the mouth. సో వాళ్ళకి salty taste ఉంటుంది, or fish ammonia like smell ఉంటుంది, breathing, sleeping, gastritis, constipation కూడా. వాస్కులర్ చేంజెస్లో హైపర్టెన్షన్, లెఫ్ట్ వెంట్రుకులర్ హైపర్ట్రోఫీ, ఎలక్ట్రోలైట్ ఇంబ్యాలెన్స్, బయోకార్డియల్ calcification. Respiratory, they will be having pulmonary edema, pleuritis and tachypnea. Diagnosis, so definitely we'll go for the 24 hours urine collection, so we can able to know how much of the 24 hours how much amount of urea, how much amount of nitrogen levels and how much amount of creatinine levels are seen, that will be identified. And urine analysis lo dip test that albumin levels ఎంత ఉన్నాయి, creatinine levels అనేవి we can able to know అన్నమాట. And not only that, glomerular filtration rate. With this we'll also go with the renal function test, that is the యూరియా, నైట్రోజన్, క్రియాటినిన్, బ్లడ్ యూరియా. సో ఇవన్నీ పొటాషియం, సోడియం లెవెల్స్, క్లోరైడ్ లెవెల్స్ ఎంత ఉన్నాయి ఏంటి అనేది విల్ సీ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో బ్లడ్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్స్ ఇవి. సో నాట్ ఓన్లీ దట్, electrolyte levels, acid base levels, how much is there. So so to have these levels we can go for the ABGs. So arterial blood gases. So arterial blood gases are giving a perfect acid will help us to give us acid base balance, how it is maintained అనేది by seeing the ABG we can able to know అనమాట. బ్లడ్ సెల్ కౌంట్స్, ఎరిథ్రోపాయిటిన్, అదర్ టెస్ట్లు వచ్చేసి వీ కెన్ గో ఫర్ ద అల్ట్రాసౌండ్. సో ద చేంజెస్ అంటే నెఫ్రాన్ చేంజెస్ కానీ కిడ్నీ చేంజెస్, ఒకసారి హైడ్రోనెఫ్రోపతి ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ సైడ్ వీ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు నో ద చేంజెస్ వాట్ ఆర్ అక్కరింగ్ ఓవర్ దేర్. వీ కెన్ టేక్ అ రీనల్ బయాప్సీ బికాజ్ గ్లోమరులర్ నెఫ్రైటిస్, ఐజీ నెఫ్రోపతి అలాంటివి. సో వీ కెన్ ఏబుల్ టు నో వేర్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈస్ దేర్. So we can able to detect abdominal CTs, abdominal MRIs and abdominal scans can also be performed. The abdominal scans can be performed to know the ischemic levels or any thrombus levels. So we can able to know that levels. Management. So we'll go, definitely we have to preserve the renal function. So it should not delay in doing the dialysis or transplantation as long as that is not be extended. So elevate the extra renal manifestations. It should not elevate the extra renal manifestations as much as possible. Improve the body chemistry values to provide optimal quality of the light for the client significant others. Pharmacological therapy. So we are having antihypertensives, cardiovascular agents. So you people know what are all the antihypertensives, the ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, beta blockers. So that is a very big list. So I think you know very well, you are written already. So that are the drugs you have to mention over there. Cardiovascular agents. So we are having some of the diuretics also given, antacids. So definitely we have to give because of these drugs may create the GI disturbances, so in adverse effects. So and definitely we'll go for the metabolic acidosis. So bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate for the replacement. So during the dialysis or after the dialysis, so sodium bicarbonate can be prescribed to prevent the acidosis, one thing. And moreover, one thing, erythropoietin. So anemia, to prevent this we are having some erythropoietin injections, so that can be prescribed as subcutaneous, that can be given, and control of the blood sugar levels. So definitely blood sugar level should be controlled. And not only that, anti-seizure drugs, agents can be given. So I think you people also know this what are all the anti-seizure drugs, the diazepam, like these drugs. So that help us to protect the patient. Not only that, hyperparathyroid drugs also. Sometimes the patients require parathyroidectomy also. So not only that, improve the some of the we'll go with the medication. After the dietary management, we'll go for the renal replacement therapy. So you people know what are the renal replacement therapies. Dialysis, in dialysis we are having peritoneal dialysis, hemodialysis, CAPDs, that's a continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis. So we'll go, and then lastly we'll go with for the renal transplantation. So what are the dietary guidelines? So definitely this patient should have a salt restricted diet, so that has to be limited to 4 to 6 grams per day to prevent the retention or to help us to control the blood pressure, high blood pressure, to avoid fluid retention and to help to control the blood pressure. And protein restriction. So definitely the patient should, because it is the end product, urea is the end product of the protein. So definitely the patient should restrict the protein, and then allow the protein with and not only that, restrict to fluid. Definitely the patient will be having anasarca. The anasarca body edema should be body edema. So definitely I have told in previous class itself. So they will calculate, how will they will calculate means, ante mundu roju enta they had passed the urine. If example they had passed up to the maybe 600 ml. So 600 to the 600 ml they will count with the having a 400 ml, so 1000 ml. So today's in is 1000 ml. So we'll check today's out. After that we'll plan for the tomorrow fluid intake. So like that you have to so to plan like this, definitely we have to maintain a very strict IO chart and weight monitoring, and then abdominal, because ascites will be there sometimes, so abdominal girth should also be measured. So we'll go with the nursing management. So definitely we'll have to take a complete history. So because this is the chronic disease, no, from how many years he is suffering, and what are all the elevating factors, or what are all the aggravating factors for that. We'll see. We have to see the medications they are prior they are using, and definitely in this, mainly in renal system, we have to see the changes and pattern of the urination, how they are going on, and then assess the patient multiple effects of CRF on all body systems. How the because this CRF has bad effects on all the systems. So definitely you have to see how they are working, how they are. So we have to see for that, and assess the patient's understanding of, so how much extent they are understanding the diagnostic treatment regimen. So you have to know and explain further. We have to explain each and every procedure for them. And definitely patient needs dialysis, so we have to explain that dialysis procedure, how it will be there, we have to explain it, and assess that significant understand treatment regimen should be also been explained. So we'll go with the nursing diagnosis. So this are definitely foremost diagnosis will be the fluid deficit or excess fluid volume. So this fluid deficit or excess fluid volume will be there, and imbalanced nutrition less than body requirement. Sometimes patient will be having activity intolerance because of having a lot of symptoms, neurological symptoms, and in a patient is having anemia. Mostly the patient will be in anemia. So activity intolerance related to anemia, retention of waste products, or dialysis. So impaired skin integrity, definitely the patient will be having the impaired skin integrity due to the retention of the fluid. So or they may so we have to see it for this. So that has to be cleared. So you girls write this nursing management, risk for infection, risk for injury. So how the coping mechanism of the individual and family therapeutic regimen we have to explain. All this we have to see. So definitely the self-esteem is also been decreased. So you have to see each and everything and plan nursing care plan for this chronic renal failure, because exam point of view it is very important to you. So learn this carefully. Thank you.